Now we turn to some special examples. This one is a glazed brick. So the glazing was put on before the brick was burnt. It ends up with a very hard impermeable surface. You'll find that often, certainly in things like public toilets and subways and things, but also used on buildings where they were concerned to get the maximum amount of lighting. So in a light well, you might have the whole inner court of the building faced in these bricks to maximise the amount of light penetrating the court. And occasionally on some fashionable department stores, the facade would be done in the same glazed bricks. This one is a modern brick, a brick of the 1990s, which is modular. It's 1 foot, 300 millimetres long. It must have been a bit of a disappointment to them when we turned to the metric system and these modular bricks were no longer of any relevance. Now I need to turn to a very special example. I need to explain first of all that if you wanted to join a piece of timber to a wall, a timber frame, door frame, window frame, cupboard, today you might drill the wall and put in a fixing like a rawl plug. That wasn't so easy in the 19th century. You might either dig into the mortar joint and drive a wedge of timber in and use that to screw into, or you might sometimes use what they call a fixing brick. That was a piece of wood the size of a full brick built into the wall in advance, but you had to know, of course, where the fixing was going to be so you could do that. This was a more sophisticated way of achieving the same thing. This brick has a slightly sloping sort of ribbit in it here, and if you put two of them together, you'll end up with a shape like a dovetail. You'll have a matching on that side, and you can't pull the piece of timber out. So this will be built into the wall and can't be pulled out, and this piece on the front will be the part of the whatever's to be fixed on, the cupboard or whatever it may be. And I made these bricks with the same matching pair of rivets on the ends as well, so you can put in vertical fittings as well. This was Ackrell's patent fixing brick. And when you look at the side of the brick, you get this marking here, which says A & Co. Patent, which is John Ackrell's patent brick. So that's the patentee, but on the brick is also, on the bottom face, is S.G. Samuel Glue, the brother of John Glue. So he was the actual maker as opposed to the patentee. Now often these marks are very important in telling you who the brick maker is. This one shows the initials J.G., which stands for John Glue, who was a brickmaker in Phillipstown or West Brunswick, who made the first what they called fancy white bricks in Melbourne. And those bricks were used, for example, for St Michael's Church. So this is a high quality, an early example of a cream brick, or so-called white brick in Melbourne. Now the same maker, John Glue, has made this brick. His initials appear here, but this brick is a different sort because it's shaped. This curve is part of the moulding. This was not done afterwards. It was shaped that way. So this brick can be built into a wall in a row, and you get a continuous string course or cornice shaped that way in brick, either exposed or occasionally to be plastered over with cement. Now we have another one. This is S.G., which is Samuel Glue, the brother of John Glue. And this is an even more sophisticated example of a brick with an OG moulding here to make a string course or cornice. And in this brick you can actually see quite clearly the mark of a screw in the middle which held this frog in place, so it can be changed over at any time. Now, apart from the John Glue fancy white bricks, you get a lot of cream bricks, which are often fire bricks. Fire bricks were used for ovens and kilns, that sort of thing. They were high-grade, expensive bricks, and at first they were mostly imported from Britain. These are examples here. First, this one, Ramsey, which is a Scottish fire brick, and this one, Darley. And the best fire bricks in Britain were from what's called the coal measures, the clays in the areas where coal is found, and Darley is one of those companies. It's important because the Darley company was copied in Victoria. You get Darley bricks made in Victoria. The name was copied, so it can be deceptive. This is another British Darley fire brick. High grade, very hard, tough brick, but interesting enough, the end is sliced off. That, of course, was not done after the brick was made. It would be very hard to do. This was part of the moulding process. They wanted this brick for, again, probably a cornice, so they made this special cut-off shape. This one here is labelled Ordish Dandenong. Now, Ordish is one of the British names, but this is in fact the Ordish company in Victoria, which once again copied the English name. So Ordish fire bricks from Dandenong, and it's not quite as dense and fine an example. For a long time, quite good fire bricks were made in Melbourne, but large numbers were still imported from Britain, especially for high grade, high temperature ovens and that sort of thing.